In the headlines tonight, the 1497th Maulid al-Nabi celebrated across the nation. Prosperity Party lauds remarkable achievements in wheat production. Good evening to you all. A very warm welcome to ETV News. I'm Grum Tariku. Showing compassion to people who have been displaced from their villages due to conflict, war and drought remains topmost priority of Ethiopian citizens. The remark came here today at the Grand Anwar Mosque, where the 1497th Maulid al-Nabi holiday was celebrated in the presence of the faithful, ambassadors, government officials and distinguished guests. Our staff reporter Shaga Yamata attended the event and brings up to the speed. Take a look.
The 1497th Maulid holiday is celebrated all over Ethiopia with a host of religious ceremonies. The 1497th Maulid al-Nabi holiday was celebrated here at the Grand Anwar Mosque near Mercato, the largest open-air market in Africa. Addressing the gathering, Vice President of the Ethiopian Supreme Islamic Affairs Council, Sheikh Abdul Karim Bedruddin, underlined that the newly constituted leadership of the council will do its level best to maintain unity of the Muslim community as well as peace and development of the entire nation.
I would like to assure the Muslim faithful that we, members of the newly constituted leadership of the Supreme Council, will work more than ever for the unity of the Muslim people as well as for the country's peace and development. We all do our level best to ensure solidarity and unity of the people.
Minister of Culture and Sports Kajela Merdasa, who attended the holiday at the Great Anwar Mosque, said that Prophet Muhammad was kind, compassionate and fought for human beings to live justly. The minister mentioned that the Prophet was more compassionate to animals and plants than humans, balanced judgments and strongly opposed to the abuse of humans.
It's high time that we worked in unison towards the preservation of religious and traditional values centered on humanity. Good values must be taught to the new generation and applied for greater transformation. The holiday should be spent on humanitarian issues, as the occasion is a festival where human beings are supported, the weak are visited, the sick are cared for, and love and compassion are shown. Maulid al-Nabi is a national holiday, so it is necessary to work together so that our humanity-centered values can be maintained.
The holiday of Maulid, the 1497 of the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, here in Addis Ababa, it is being celebrated at Anwar Mosque colorfully. The Muslim community and religious fathers are celebrating it. This holiday is celebrated with songs, especially it is celebrated by doing good deeds to the needy. Marking the occasion, senior government officials, regional and city administrations extended their best wishes of the holiday.
In a related development, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has extended best wishes to all Muslims on the 1497th celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad. In his message, the Premier said that the world has benefited greatly from the birth of Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet has not only changed the history of the world, but also the lives of human beings. He said that when we celebrate Maulid, it should be to change the history of the world and the lives of human beings. The Prime Minister stressed that what Ethiopia has been doing in agriculture and the manufacturing industry will change the history of the nation as well as the lives of its people. By freeing Ethiopia from war, we will turn our face to our plans that will completely change the history and lives of the people, Abiy said. In a related development, Ethiopian Muslims are celebrating the 1497th Maulid al-Nabi holiday colorfully across the country. Maulid al-Nabi is being celebrated with various religious ceremonies all over Ethiopia. The occasion was marked with assortments in the state of Amhara, particularly among the Muslims in the South Wollo zone of the Amhara state. The Anwar Mosque hosted a special holiday ceremony in attendance of religious fathers, government officials, invited guests and the Muslim community in Addis Ababa. Fireworks of 9 cannons were fired in the capital on the Saturday morning to mark the occasion. In another development, the Executive Committee of the ruling Prosperity Party says multinational and multi-ethnic politics across the nation is gathering momentum thanks to its relentless efforts. During its regular session in Jijjiga, capital of the state of Somalia, the 45-member Central Committee of Ethiopia's biggest party underlined that multi-ethnic politics is the main catalyst for democratic unity in the Eastern African nation. The committee has scrutinized ways and means of maintaining the social cohesion and national security of the nation. According to Tulaun Kabada, a Central Committee member approached by ETV, the 10 million strong ruling party is pinning its hopes on the much anticipated national dialogue to thrash off pertinent problems and find remedies for them. Meanwhile, during its regular session, the Executive Committee of the ruling Prosperity Party concluded that remarkable success has been achieved in wheat production. Approached by ETV, some members of the Executive Committee pointed out that Ethiopia's wheat production is expected to jump this year as the nation seeks to reduce reliance on food imports. The wheat boom, they said, provides a glimmer of hope. Haptama Shagre takes up to the speed.
Ethiopia plans to increase local wheat output by up to 70% in 2022 as the country cushions itself from supply chain constraints due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Data from the Ethiopian Agriculture Ministry estimates that the country will harvest some 2.4 million tons compared to 1.42 tons the prior year. It was exactly this spirit that some members of the Executive Committee underscored when approached by ETV.
Ethiopia's irrigation development and mechanization initiatives during the rainy season have given us enough reason to hope for the best. Using mechanization, technology and utilizing water are key components to raise agricultural productivity. The Executive Committee's scrutiny into this showed that we have covered 40,000 hectares of land by wheat production during the just ended fiscal year.
The Executive Committee also said enhancing agricultural productivity is instrumental to reduce the cost of living in Ethiopia. Apart from feeding domestic consumption, wheat production is also said to help the nation to export wheat to the international market.
Sindem domestic way degmo
Beyond domestic consumption, efforts are well underway to export wheat to the international market. This is one of success story we should spread as far as the Prosperity Party is concerned. Similarly, we are taking lessons from other regions to expand wheat production in Benshangul-Gumuz region. The leadership has rolled its sleeves to reduce the cost of living by raising agricultural productivity.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has implemented a nationwide wheat planting campaign to win the country of imports by 2023. Most of this planting was done in Oromia and Amhara, two of the nation's largest regions.
Ethiopia and Ghana have had a strong friendship since the establishment of the African Union. Minister of Mines and Petroleum, Takoloma, said. The minister was the guest of honor at the Ethio-Ghana Fraternity Night organized by the Embassy of Ghana in Ethiopia. In his remarks, Minister Takala Oma pointed out that the Pan-Africanism spirit that enabled Ethiopia and Ghana to establish the African Union. Ama A. Tuma Amoha, Ghanaian ambassador to Ethiopia, for her part, underlined that the two countries have made a significant contribution to the independence of African countries and strengthening of the African Union. Aklu Taddesa, head of youth affairs of Center for Democracy Building at the Office of the Prime Minister and Secretary of the National Committee, said that the early leaders of Ethiopia, Emperor Haile Selassie, and Ghana, President Kwame Nkrumah, played a leading role in the realization of Pan-Africanism and establishment of the African institutions.
In this auspicious Ethiopian New Year, ETV English will bring you new programs that will inform and update you on major national and continental issues that matter. Sit tight and remain alert as we are bringing you new programs entitled Diplomatic Insights and Explore Ethiopia. Stay tuned for more from ETV English, your new voice of diversity and renaissance.
Force Commander of the UN Peacekeeping Mission in South Sudan, Lieutenant General Mohan Sabramirian, cherished the Ethiopian peacekeeping troops' endurance and determination in achieving their mission in a very challenging condition. The Force Commander mentioned this during the prestigious UN Medal Award ceremony of the Ethiopian Battalion 3 peacekeeping troops in Yamboya, Western Equatoria State. It is one of the 3 Ethiopian peacekeeping battalions deployed in South Sudan. Recalling Ethiopia's long-standing commitment to peacekeeping operations since the early 1950s, the Force Commander further testified to the country's consistent commitment to collective security. He also appreciated the battalion's courageous effort in reversing the conflict in Tambura country last year. He said the prompt intervention saved many thousands of lives. Ethiopian ambassador to South Sudan, Nabil Mahdi, on his part, evoked Ethiopia's relentless contribution to global peace by mentioning the country's long-standing commitment to global peace. Women from across the world have got an opportunity to showcase their work during the second She Arts Festival in Cairo. The event aims to inspire Egyptians through a mix of music, art, film, theater, and stand-up comedy. We have more on this. Take a look.
For 5 days, the She Artists Festival gave women artists a platform to exhibit their talent in different forms of art. One of the most heartwarming performances was by the Al Nurul Amal Orchestra. The group is made of musicians with visual impairments.
I've attended many of the performances that took place over the past few days. I'm amazed by the variety of arts and diversity of talents. It made me realize, and now I am very confident that women can produce great art. Watching Al Nurul Amal performing was amazing. They blew my mind.
During the event, 2 stages alternated back-to-back performances, more than 24 dancing performances, stand-up comedy shows, and concerts of all types of music.
I was really surprised that I knew that there is like an organization called She Arts and they support women, and this is amazing in Egypt. And this was a really good opportunity because like I'm not well known here in Egypt yet, and I do my own music. It's a different music, not commercial one. So I was really happy that I had to participate in this event.
I must voice my opinion and that of minorities. In the rap scene, women are minorities, so I'm trying to support women's causes in my tracks, and I've dedicated my music to that.
This is the second edition of the She Artists Festival. Although it is still in its early stages, the festival is starting to gain international recognition. Women artists from 10 countries joined this growing event this year.
The idea came from that I already working on the scene, and I have been met many female artists that they are very talented, but they are doesn't take the full space. So I decided to make this festival last year, and became with very good feedback.
The She artists also provided a space for women to give lectures in filmmaking and screen their films. A multimedia artist exhibition entitled She is Always Inspiring shed light on the role of women since ancient times from.
Over now to a quick reminder of the headlines. (1,497th Mawlid al-Nabi celebrated across the nation. Prosperity Party lauds remarkable achievements in wheat production. Well, you have been watching ETV News. Thanks for your company and have a great time.